and this is not really playing cards related, but it is. As you all know, I've done some Kickstarter Hall of Fame inductions previously, a whole bunch of them, and today I decided I'm going to do some updates. There have been a lot of, I've done a lot of inductions. I have zero problem whatsoever telling the world about scammers and other scum from Kickstarter projects and warning people about the risks of backing projects and of who to avoid. At the same time, I also have no problem, telling people about, I have no problem taking back some of what I've said if need be. And I have done that, and I will do that again. So let's do some updates. First of all, I just wanted to point out this. The FTC, the Federal Trade Commission in the U.S., has ordered a Kickstarter user to repay $122,000 to backers because he apparently canceled the project and did not make good on his promises to return backers' money. So that is good. And that means simply that the Federal Trade Commission is now going after scammers on Kickstarter, and hopefully that they will go after these card scammers as well. But let's get on with it. So let's get on with it. You haven't seen my face in quite some time. Here I am. My wrists are a little bit screwed up, but I'm here. Let's look at updates. I got my whole stack of inductions right here. I'm going to go through them and give you updates. First of all, Yuckwa, who created the Bicycle Dragon Dynasty decks. His last update was in October of last year. The last time he was on Kickstarter was in December of last year. His project is still largely unfulfilled, especially I believe international backers. But at the same time, he is selling decks on eBay, so screw you, I guess. Chow Young Huang, also known as Ashram. Her project was the Sherlock Holmes Museum decks. The last update was in September of last year, and the last login was last November. I am officially removing her from the Hall of Fame because, aside from perhaps a couple of people that were stiffed by the creator, she's okay. I mean, decks weren't the best quality. There's a couple of people that maybe did not get what they paid for. But, I mean, aside from that, she's not scamming people or anything like that. So, Zhao Young Hong, you are out of the Hall of Fame. See, I'm not all bad. I'm not trying to just rip people apart. Let's look at the next one. Timothy Nuo, however you pronounce that last name, the creator of the Bicycle Core deck. He has been MIA on Kickstarter since September of 2013, which was also his last update. The project is still not fully fulfilled. I know I still never got what I paid for, and I had to get them elsewhere on eBay. Apparently, thanks to our money, he has now gone to Hawaii, bought a MacBook Pro, some expensive bicycle, and all sorts of other stuff. You can check this out on his website, tnio.com, tniou.com. Funny, IOU. Yeah. But yeah, thanks a lot for not delivering what we paid for. Next, another good news story. Brett Dudo, the creator of the Bicycle Royal Wilderness playing cards. There was some issues with that one. A lot of people were still waiting. There was some odd customs value things. But according to Brett, who saw my Kickstarter Hall of Fame induction video recently, he claims that he has fulfilled everything and doesn't know of any issues. And the last time he was on Kickstarter was in December. That's the last time he logged on, and the last update was in August of 2014. So I am officially removing him from the Hall of Fame. His video has been removed. He is no longer in the Hall of Fame. Thumbs up. And I apologize to Brett Dudo if I was incorrect in doing that. Kickstarter. I got Kickstarter. I had it into Hall of Fame. I got nothing to update on them. They're still idiots as far as I'm concerned. They don't care what happens on their website. It's not their business. People can scam people out of money. Not my problem. Dan Chris, DKG, who created some Cthulhu decks, the great old one, Bicycle Cthulhu decks, as well as a game and a deck. There was some major financial issues. His last update was in May of 2015, but it was for backers only, so I don't know what it said. Going to one comment, apparently the t-shirts that he had been going to do with the project have not happened. Shipping, as far as I know, is still ongoing. I think I will remove him from the Hall of Fame, but I'm not 100% sure, just because, I mean, there was a lot of issues. Poor research and mathematical issues and factors of shipping costs, and not to mention no finances coming in with this guy. A lot of people apparently have been giving him money to get their stuff, so that's good. But anyways, that one, you know, I don't know 100% if I'm removing it yet or not. Next up, David Shitto, who had the diamond cut cards. Last update from him was in November of 2014, stating that he was going to actually print these himself through USB-C with his own funds, but he has been completely MIA since that update, and there has been zero progress. Scammer. Chris Cavill, creator of the Type Deck. Apparently he did post an update. That was the last update, was in May, that he received proofs from the USB-C. There obviously is some progress that is ongoing. Last login was early this month, June. So hopefully we will see that one sometime before the end of the year. I don't know. Hopefully we'll see it. Who knows? At least there's some progress, there's some updates, something going on. You know, it's been taking 2 years. Moving along. Next up, Altius Management, Ed Nass. Last update was in July of 2013, 2 years ago. He actually did log in March of this year. I'm not sure why. I was a little surprised to see that. Of course, there is a lawsuit that is ongoing. I don't know much about what's going on with that, although apparently his lawyer basically just didn't show up or something. He didn't bother to fight. So apparently he's going to be paying back some money, I guess. The deck itself, the Asylum playing cards, was relaunched with a couple additional decks by Roman Kotiv just a couple months ago on Kickstarter, and we're still waiting on those. But I do have confidence that will happen. I don't like paying for something twice, but we'll see. It should happen this time. Next up, Department of Design, which was John Slavic and Stephen Gear. Last update was July of 2014. They have been MIA since September 2014. Absolutely zero progress. Nothing happening. That one, definite scam. And obviously lawsuit talks. Whoops. Then I had Aether Cards and aka Alex Isaacs and being Poker Rolled, Michael Ferrante. They were just added in just because they were idiots. I got no updates. Other than I know some people are still waiting for Vortex decks, like 3 years later. And of course the being Poker World was sold. I'm not even sure if it still exists. It was sold to Gambler's Warehouse though, quite some time ago. And Michael has disappeared. And of course he also sold United Cards to another Michael. And being Poker World is dead. That website no longer exists. Moving along. We won't worry about them too much. Beta 17, which was Ethan Soper and Patrick Burke. Last update was in June of 2013. That's 2 years ago. They've been MIA since February of 2014, and it's still largely unfulfilled. I don't know what they did with all these decks of cards. Did they just throw them out and say, screw you? Are they still sitting on them? Are they selling them outside of the internet? I have no idea. All I know is I never got what I paid for. I had to get them. Actually, I got them from another backer who bought a brick and was generous enough to send me a couple. But most other people, not so lucky. Then there's Dean Liu, who I warned people about on the project before I canceled my pledge. And, I had concerns, I saw red flags, and guess what? I was right. The last update was February 17th. A apology, kind of like a sorry, you're out of luck. He has been MIA since then. There has been zero progress. And I do not see this one happening. I knew that his goal was too low for 2 different decks, 2 different colors. He is adamant it was good. And apparently he didn't care because he wasn't going to do anything anyways. Next up, Adam Clarkson, my old buddy from Circle City Cards. Last update was May 2014. Last login, MIA since November of 2014. And a lot of people, including myself, still owed refunds from his last project. Despite this, he's gone on trips and whatnot, apparently. Next up, Faro Playing Card Company. Their last update was in October of 2013. Last login was this month, June 2015. He is still backing projects, this creator. Despite there being lots of unfulfillment in his projects, I know I'm still waiting for decks from his Inferno project, the Bicycle Heads project. Still lots of unfulfillment. I had to get those from elsewhere. Yet he's backing projects. By the way, he's been backing Usai projects like the Brute and the Classic. And also, there was one other one, I forget, that he backed. So he's taking our money and he's using it to buy playing cards on Kickstarter. I should do that. Apparently nobody cares. The biggest problem with these scammers is, a lot of people like myself, we get screwed out of 20, 30, 50, $100, whatever. What are we going to do? Spend thousands of dollars on an attorney to go fight him in court? Is it worth it? That's the problem, why these people get away with it. But, the tides are changing. I see 2013, 2014 were bad years. This year so far, pretty good. Next up, Brian Castaller, Man-Made Games. MIA since last July 2014. There has been zero progress on the deck, and the last update was in January of 2014. That's that. Nothing happening on that one. Elite Playing Cards is on the list. Wayne Greco. Because of the fact that they screwed over the creators of the Cardistance decks. They didn't pay them for the artwork they produced for their decks. They did not. They're having all sorts of fulfillment issues with the Cardistance projects, like the Mayhem. And just an apparent sabotage of the Cardistance. And even so much as apparently going on a vacation for a month despite not having projects fulfilled. And now on top of that, they're doing recolors of different decks like the Bicycle Evolution and the 1 million, I think it was. And on top of that, I'm upset because in the last project they did, the Bicycle Collectors, they offered the red Evolution decks to backers. You pledge this much money, you get a second Collector's deck and a red Evolution deck. Well, now the red Evolution deck is available to everyone on different websites like collectibleplayingcards.com and playingcards.net, etc., etc. And I'm still waiting for mine. I think they sort of held off on giving these to resellers before backers got them. Just in my opinion, I think it's BS. So we'll move along with that one. Put that out of the way. Next up, Noel Quills, TPX Designs, my old buddy. His account was somehow deleted on Kickstarter. I don't even know how Kickstarter could possibly allow somebody to delete their account when they have not fulfilled the project. That to me is fucking BS. I apologize for my language, but it is. His last update was in July of 2014. He has been MIA since that. He deleted his account. There has been zero progress. There was a comment posted that he was going to be scamming people under other names. And needless to say, there was other weird projects that tried to scam people recently. That one deck that was a ripoff. It was the Bicycle Alchemy deck that somebody did a project for. And weird. Could that have been him? Who knows? But the Bicycle Alchemy one, I don't even have that on the list. But that was just a major failed attempt, an obvious attempt at scamming people, and it did not work. Yet there was still quite a few idiots who actually backed the project and didn't read the comments or didn't give a damn. I don't know what it was, but moving along. Also, I should note that the TPX Designs website has expired. So he is gone. He took our money, he ran, he went on vacations apparently to Australia, and who knows what else. Let's look at another one, Alien Ink and Alien Slink, apparently created by Jeremiah Deslond, and I also saw under the Alien Slink, I think it was a Benjamin something. For the Alien Ink account, the last update was in November of 2014. The last login was just last week, June the 18th. Their website, alienink.com, or whatever it is down. And just, nothing going on with that. The project's on, or the one project that is outstanding on Alien Ink. For Alien Slink, there's been some updates in May, but no progress has been made. So much for that. I know they have at least 3 decks, I think, that are outstanding right now. Just completely ridiculous. But they say they're trying to get, things organized and going back again. Next update, next person, Christina Bathand. And I mean, with a name like Bathand, it makes me question why people would back their project anyways. But the last update from this person was February 17th. Sorry, it was an apology again, and yeah, it's kind of like, sorry, out of luck. Screw you. There's been some talk of legal action. The last login was actually last week, June the 18th, which I think is a little bit weird again. Alex Willis, who had 2 projects, the Victorian Adventure Bicycle deck and the Bicycle Michael Fromar 1616. There's been no updates since late 2013, and he's been MIA since January 2014, and obviously talk of legal action in that one as well. Benji Taylor. I just want to mention this one quickly. I did remove Benji Taylor from the Hall of Shame because he did supposedly fulfill everything despite it taking quite some time, despite there being miscommunication and whatnot. There is talk of him producing another Icons deck in a different color. I just want to say, though, that his behavior, I know he's only a teenager, but his behavior is childish. There was another project, the Iconic deck, that was on Kickstarter that was very similar to his deck, but it was poorly done, poorly executed. And he was very vocal about this deck and saying that it was a ripoff and this and that. Well, you know what, in my opinion, the creator told me himself he had never heard of the Icons deck before, and that it was not a ripoff. And you know what? I believe the creator. Whether Benji Taylor believes him or not, which he does not, I could care less. The creator had... I mean, is it reasonable to believe that somebody has never heard of the Icons playing cards that Benji Taylor created, and that they would come up with a similar idea? Absolutely. If Benji Taylor could come up with this idea for the Icons playing cards, why can't somebody else? And just because it was on Kickstarter doesn't mean everyone in the world has heard about it. It is absolutely reasonable for somebody to come up with a similar themed deck, similar style deck, without knowing about it before. So I believe the creator. I'm going to go with that. And I thought Benji Taylor's comments, along with, I think, who was it, Zach Mueller? Or no, it wasn't Zach Mueller, I don't think. It was Daniel Madison. Daniel Madison, Benji Taylor, all their friends, they're all like, we're going to burn this bitch to the ground. There's no way he's going to fund, blah, blah, blah. Completely childish, unprofessional from Daniel Madison, and just ridiculous behavior from all their friends. Next up, but I did remove Benji Taylor from the Hall of Fame, so I just wanted to point that out because I felt it was a fair thing to do. Next up, Russell Kurtzevel, Circle City Cards. They're one of my old buddies. Last update was in October 2013. Apparently his last login was today, June 28th. Weird. Still, mostly unfulfilled, I believe. Well, somewhat unfulfilled. I know there was some fulfillment recently. I know somebody in Canada that got what they pledged for. I think the dice were never sent out. I have not received anything myself. It's probably not a fan of mine after I did my video, but whatever. And apparently he sold his artwork to Gambler's Warehouse, who produced color, of course, of the Brimstone deck. But that is it. Nothing going on with that one. No, nothing. Then I have Kickstarter. Kickstarter is currently under construction. The website, Kickstarter.com, under construction. I don't have really anything positive to say about Kickstarter.com. There's been maybe one nice deck that came out of that project. I don't think there's been any decks that did not receive some backstage, some behind the scenes backing from the Bucks. Actually, not even behind the scenes. They pledged for those projects on their own website, and it's ridiculous, unethical. But I don't know what's going on with Kickstarter. Hopefully, it's dead because it's just crap. And as we have seen with other websites, nobody's going to compete with backers on Kickstarter. Next up, Reagan McClellan. And I promise I'm getting to the end of this list, by the way. The last login was actually today, June 28th. The last update was April of 2013, over 2 years ago, on final shipping. There's still some issues that persist with that one, as far as I know, and that was for the Steampunk deck. I've not even seen that deck anywhere. Quad City Cards. Brandon Kirk is the creator. Last update was August 2014. That's almost a year ago. Right after the project was funded, thanking people for sending him money. Thank you and goodbye, basically. Zero progress since that update. And he's been MIA since July 2014. I guess probably since August 2014. I don't even know how it's possible that his last update was August 2014, but I got that he's MIA since July 2014. But basically, MIA since that update, and nothing has been produced. Next up, Juan Solazano of the Alice of Wonderland playing cards. Had many issues, many issues. Trying to get these decks produced through USB-C. They would not do it because of legal issues. Then he had them produced through Cardamundi, which led to quality issues, in my opinion. Last update was February 2015. Last login was last month, May 2015. Still lots of unfulfillment, lots of unhappy people, despite the fact that Gambler's Warehouse now has these decks and is selling them to people, and other people are still waiting. It's ridiculous, unacceptable. Next up, Darren Gendron. Last update was in January of 2015. His last login to Kickstarter was April 2015. Still no progress on his Sealy playing cards. And he had a lot of financial issues, mental breakdowns, all sorts of crap. And it does not look good for this one. I do not see it happening. AK Graphics, aka Anes Cassatt. Apparently still some refunds and or packages that are outstanding. He has since produced a second version of the Stealth Deck, which I got from collectibleplayingcards.com. Last update was in February 2015, with his last login this month, a couple weeks ago, I guess. I don't know. It seems like, most things have been cleared up with this one as far as I can tell. There hasn't been a whole lot of comments or anything like that, but I don't know. And not to mention the quality of the cards was not very good. The same. And one more. Oh, Cardissons, the very last one. Cardissons has been removed from the Hall of Fame because the people behind Cardissons themselves are not scammers or anything like that. The fulfillment issues and all the other issues is related to Elite playing cards. Cardissons is now Shapeshifters playing cards, and they had a project for the Bicycle Paragon decks on Kickstarter a couple months ago. Still waiting on that one, but it should happen in the near future. So they are not in the Hall of Fame anymore. So that is that. I just wanted to update people on the Hall of Fame. There has been no new additions as of this year, I guess. At least not lately. So that's good news. That is that. Stay tuned for more videos. I'll see you next time. And if you know of anyone that's screwing people over on Kickstarter in the playing card world, let me know.